What?
You got a mullet, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, pull the hat off.
All right, now we have to see this. Do you approve? Okay. Anywho.
It doesn't look bad. I'm just like, why?
Because they get haircuts. Anyway, so for those of you joining us online, you've joined us mid-conversation about haircuts. Weird. But if you would, in the chat, if you'd leave a comment, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We can get this thing moving, and I'll give you the reminder. As for today I am going to be officially assigning you the project that you are going to be expected to complete. Now, I am going to assign it, of course, via Google Classroom. There will be a PDF. I'm going to show you the PDF visually today, just so I can kind of motion through it and whatnot and show you the different aspects of it and reminders. But then, of course, I will be assigning that on Google Classroom so you actually have the PDF to get this thing done. Be fantastic. Now, note for the future, which combines the project as well. I told you about Wednesday of next week, correct? Correct. Yes. That would be an opportunity. Don't leave it for the last minute, but that would potentially be an opportunity to work on certain parts of the project. Just saying. I haven't officially made a due date yet. Usually what I like to do is I like to give absolutely no more than like a week and a half. You know what I'm saying? I like to give no more than a week and a half. But Wednesday of next week just happens to correspond with the project just being assigned. Just saying, don't leave it for the last minute. Now, on Wednesday, just again, this is for people who are online. On Wednesday, when I'm not here, there will not be a live stream, but I will have something for you to do in Google Classroom that once completion of that assignment would count as the attendance for the day. And I'll go back and edit it when I have the opportunity to do so. So please make sure that on Wednesday you come in with Chromebooks ready to go. Obviously, you can charge them if need be or whatever. I don't know who's going to be in the room. I have absolutely no idea. Last time I put in for a sub, no one ever filled it, and they just got a teacher to do it. So whatever. Anyway, my goal for the first part of this class period is to basically finish going over the project. I want to show you some housing websites and how you can maneuver through them. And I also want to, with the time that we have left, talk a bit more about logarithms. As we did on Tuesday, I would strongly suggest that whatever information that may be helpful towards getting this project done, you take the opportunity to write that down, just like we did last time. Just saying. So, for the project and the house, let me bring up the actual PDF so you can see the specifications that I was referring to. Let's see here. Flip that over. Actually, you know what? I want to open that with Lumen. There we go. Connect to Drive. Oh, come on, I did this morning. There we go. So my main focus of this morning is to talk about the house, but I'm just going to go through the different parts of the PDF first. This is the PDF that you guys are going to be assigned. Now, you can see, side note, the resources are just examples. You can technically use any bank, any car website, or any house website. But of course, it has to be, reputable. It can't just be like, oh, my next door neighbor is willing to sell me a car for $500. I'm sorry, you don't have any evidence for that other than you telling me about your neighbor. I would rather you guys use these websites. So part one is talking about banks, talks about the $10,000 that you've been given as a gift and that you have to research 3 banks. There is an attached bank worksheet down here where you can organize your information. About the 3 banks. They have to be 3 different banks, and the directions do specify that you have to have 3 different interest rates. It cannot just be something like, now mind you can't do TD Bank, but it can't just be like TD Bank, Bank of America, Chase. All of them have 0.02% interest. No, according to the rules, that's not something that we're going to do here. But you have to find those accounts. Now, there's going to be equations that you have to put together and whatnot, but notice up here, the questions below the table are to be filled out for only one of the three banks. Ultimately, you're going to research three banks, and then you are going to decide on one of those three banks to actually move forward and do the calculations that they ask you to do, which are down here. Then there's part two. Now for part two, they talk about commuting to work, and you're going to be researching a car. You have to determine all of the different things that we talked about on Tuesday. The current price of the car, the original price of the car, the rate of depreciation. Now, one of these things is you have to have a car that has lost value. You have to have a car that has lost value. Also, you have to have a car that is at least 3 years old. You need to have a car that is at least 3 years old. You can't be getting a 2021, whatever it is you're getting. It has to be at least 3 years old. So I'm going to say 2018 at the youngest. 2018 at the youngest. Please keep that in mind. All those notes are in there. They ask you all of the things that we talked about. When will the car be worth in a certain number of years? When will the car be worth $0, as we did last class? And of course, down here, here's a note. You cannot use a geoprism because of the example that I gave. These are just some suggested websites. Again, keep in mind, I want to know what someone is selling the car for. You need to have evidence. Evidence is not links. Do not give me a link. If I click on the link and I have to search for information, that's not my job for the project. That's your job for the project. Bless you. Do screenshots. Bless you. Do screenshots. It'll be easier to do screenshots, and that way I can see the website, I can see the page, I can see everything in one fell swoop. Then there's the house. Now, again, a couple of notes about the house. It's very similar to the car, except the house has to have gained value. Now, you see right here, it says, what is the rate of appreciation? That is the house gaining value over time. And then ultimately you do all of the other calculations that we've talked about or that we're going to. Now, I put on here that you can't use this town. You can't use this town called Random Lake, Wisconsin. Because I'm going to show you something from Random Lake, Wisconsin today. You can use any town in America. You don't have to stay in Barnegat. You don't. But ultimately, you're all going to have different cars and different houses. Because when I assign this project, I am also going to have instructions for you to claim your car and your house, in which I'm going to update a Google spreadsheet so that you can see, oh, someone's already taken this car. I can't do this car, Clarification to that. If I do a 2018 Toyota Corolla, you can do a 2017 Toyota Corolla. Those are different years. And you would have different prices, and you would have different calculations. So please keep that in mind. Yes? Maybe. Now, in terms of houses, where are we? In terms of houses, as long as it is a different house, you're fine. So if everybody decides to do Barnegat, that's fine with me, as long as they are different houses that you are doing. Now, somebody asked me, Mr. Markey, can I do my own house? And I said, as long as you have evidence for what it's being sold for. Now, a couple of websites I put up here as suggestions, but some of them don't really work out the way that I want them to, like Zillow. You guys are familiar with the Zillow website, maybe? Yeah. What does Zillow typically do in terms of the price of a home?
Is that the one that tells you what the actual price is with the estimated, or like the actual price that should be like the estimated?
The estimated value. They call it a zestimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, disgusting. But it's an estimated value. See, the thing is, I don't want to go with estimated values. I want to go with what it's being sold for. Because I think I've talked about this in the past. If I have a 98 Toyota Corolla and my next door neighbor has a 98 Toyota Corolla, hey, they're both 98 Toyota Corollas. Yeah, but clearly my neighbor has maintained his a lot better than me. Thus, the value of his car is much more than the value of mine. I'm not going with an estimate. I want to go with what it's being sold for. And I'm going to show you Random Lake, Wisconsin in a moment. Then there is a reflection. The reflection is mainly your opinion, but please, I want thoroughness. I don't want a sentence response to this kind of stuff. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you think. And then, of course, there's a rubric down there. Now, in the past, usually I say like, hey, a poster, professional report, things of that nature. Because of the nature of what we're living in right now, I'm going to ask that the projects all be turned in electronically, meaning do them on Google Docs, do them on Google Slides, do them on Google Sheets. I don't know, whatever you end up decide to do to put it together, that's up to you. You want to do a slideshow? Do a slideshow. You just want to put it all into a Google document? That's fine, as long as it's organized and I can understand what's going on. Keep in mind, mathematical work can be handwritten, because I know how difficult it is to type math work. But if you're going to do that, please, again, make sure you include a picture that I can see clearly. That's part of the organization neatness of the project. Okay. Now, for those of you here, and you can obviously hopefully see this quite well, for those of you on the live stream, again, you have that giant glare, but I'm going to try my best to kind of show you what the heck is going on. Sometimes I like to go on Zillow just to see what they believe my house is worth nowadays. Houses typically are investments, but they're not always. Depends on how much you maintain them. Let's go to a place in Random Lake, Wisconsin. Originally, I had typed in just the word random several years back, and then I found this place called Random Lake, Wisconsin. Let's pick a home. Now, keep in mind that there's a couple of things to this. I have to pick a home that has gained value, and according to my instructions, hold on. I know you have a question. I just need to look up one quick thing. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Do they stop you in the hallway? They do? Oh my gosh. You guys never told me that.
Am I allowed to say hi to the live stream?
Probably not, but you know what? I'm over here.
Hey guys, I hope you're all having an amazing day.
They can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, I hope you're all having an amazing day. Stay safe. Mwah.
Yeah, that's why I have the microphone, so I can sit over here and they can still hear me. You know?
Yeah, I forgot.
That's okay. Now, Random Lake, Wisconsin, we got to pick a home. Let's see. We got to make sure that it has gained value over time. I don't know. It's all snowy in Wisconsin. The heck is that? That's land. I can't have land. Oh, crap. Look at that. $650,000. You ever go on these realtor websites and just do like a virtual tour of their house? Am I the only one? All right. Sometimes it's like, what the heck? Like, why is this house worth so much money? Oh, that's probably why. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Can I scroll down? Yeah, it's got like it's a lakefront property. They got like multi-levels. Like, look at that. They got like a downstairs little bar area, like a little hangout thing, giant windows. Wow. This is insane. The upholstery is all from like the 90s, I think. Like, look at that. That's pretty sweet. Sorry, I'm just getting lost and like looking through. That's a giant bathroom. What the heck? Oh, that's funny. All right, so I got to stop looking at these. I got to actually look at the price. So the price of the home is $649,999. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to write that down just yet because I have to make sure that the house has gained value over time. Now, the house was built in 1963, according to this website. You might not be able to see that in the chat. That's okay. But regardless, that's not the number that I'm really going for. So let me scroll down a bit, This is the part that you have to find on the Realtor website. You're going to want to find property history. You're going to find property history because under property history, you can potentially find the oldest listed price. Now look at this. Even though the house was built in 1963, the oldest listed price that I can find right here is $724,000, which is more than the current price that they're selling it for. What that translates to me is I can't do this house. Technically, the oldest listed price has lost value over time. I can't do this house. I got to pick a new house. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to pick a new house. Vacant land, vacant land, vacant land. I should probably pick one of the top two houses up here. Here we go. Let's go with this one. A lot of snow there. This house is $151,500. Whoa, it was built in 1900. Crap. All right, let's look at property history. The only property history available is the most recent price. Pick a new house. Pick this one. $194,500. Also built in 1900. How's that possible? Whatever. Property history. No, can't do that one either. Let's go back. This is the process that you would potentially go through. $235,000. Property history. No. Here's a good thing that you need to know right here. There is a difference between property price and property tax. There's a huge difference between property price and property tax. This information I'm not going to use. It's all about the property price. Now, so far, I've only been searching for like maybe a minute or two. If you're doing the project and you're searching for a minute or two and you can't find a house, oh man, I can't do this project then. No, you have a couple options. Number one, you either decide to keep searching through that town, or number two, you pick a new town. Now, I picked Random Lake thinking that there would be something here, but apparently there isn't. Let me see what happens when I type in random one more time. Okay. Why don't you just go back to the website then? Realtor.com. Let's just type in random. Oh, it's not going to. Oh, it takes me back to Random Lake. Silly place. I guess we're going to have to pick a new town. Name me a town that's like not Barnegat, but like not New Jersey. Name a town not in New Jersey. All you gotta do is look up a town not in New Jersey. Do you guys not know anything outside of New Jersey? I guess not. My word. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to stick in Wisconsin. I'll go to Milwaukee. You don't know what Milwaukee is? You guys don't know Milwaukee? The baseball team, the Brewers? My word. Wow, that's a really... Wow, look at this house. All right, 39,900. Property history? Nope. All you have to do is find one house that fits the requirement. Someone get that door? 70,000. Nope. Try this one. Can't do that one. We're trying to find a home right now that has gained value over time. But seemingly Random Lake, Wisconsin didn't have enough homes. Question, if I asked you, name a town outside of New Jersey, what would you say? Outside of New Jersey.
Oh, I thought you said a town.
Is it really that difficult?
Wait, let me think. I got what's a town?
Outside of New Jersey.
No, I definitely know some. I just can't think of it.
I'm trying to think about like
Tampa.
Okay, there you go.
I thought that was like Fort Lauderdale.
Sure,
Yeah,
I thought that would be like a.
yeah,
it's a town.
I thought it was like a county.
Oh,
yeah. Like, I think a county.
Like Fort Lauderdale. That's like
there we go. No, that one doesn't work either.
That's a whole section of or like Ocean City, Maryland.
All right. You know what? I'm going to look up my parents' house.
No, how about let's do my house?
Nope. I'm going to look at my parents' house.
17
Yeah, they live in Settlers.
Cool, I'm gonna go say hi to your parents now. Now I know where they live.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like,
Cool.
"Hey, I'm just gonna let you know your son's doing a really good job."
Yeah, they won't believe you.
I'll say.
Are you kidding me? No price history available for this
"Okay, so
property?
Look at my house.
Okay, fine. We'll look at your house. Well, actually, is it on sale?
No.
All right. I'm just going to look up Barnegat then.
Or you can look up my old house because I think it is on sale.
Well, I'll just look up Barnegat. Here's a house in Barnegat, supposedly. There we go. Finally got something that I need. Okay, here we go. Where is this house? Bowie Court. Where's Bowie Court?
I want to say something.
Is it really? I don't know. You
So
No, I think it's like on Ravenwood.
Ravenwood?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
Wait, what? What is it called?
Bowie Court?
No way. It's not on
There's no way that there's.
Whatever. Regardless. I found something that we can use.
Isn't a buoy what you have at the boat? Like, oh, throw a buoy.
No, a buoy is in the water.
It's but like, isn't it like when you throw?
No, you don't throw it. They're just sitting in the water.
Oh,
My word.
those things that float, so like you're swimming, you can't go past the buoy. No, that's definitely it's not like Settlers. It's like Mass, Nautilus. It all has stuff to do with like the ocean.
Yes, they do.
So
It's all ocean themed.
it's either Hubble or
Okay.
Settlers. So just normal for you.
Oh, I gotta show more. I can show more here. Oh, sweet.
Another one of the stories that's really hot in here.
I know. So check this out. I actually did find something a bit better on this one. Originally, I thought I was going to be able to use the 2011 price, but I found this price instead. The oldest available price, 1985, $59,000.
Wait, your parents' house is on sale?
No, this is not my parents' house.
No, but you were trying to search it up.
Yeah, they didn't have any property history because they're not on sale. Yeah. So, $215,000 is what the house is being sold for today at 7 Bowie Court. I'll update my project to show that this house cannot be done for the project, just so you know. But it was sold in 1985 for $59,000. How many years has it been since 1985? What is that, 15 and 21? 36 years. Yeah. Okay. Name a town outside New Jersey. Okay. Now, 36 years since 1985. In 36 years, the value of the home went from $59,000 up to $215,000. Now, these calculations are going to be very similar to what we did for the car. Very similar to what we did for the car. Now, mind you, at this point, At this point, if you are working on the project, you can begin these calculations. But there is one major thing that you need to do before you really deep dive this thing. You need to email me. As long as this house is not on the Google Sheet, you can email me saying, I would like to do this house. I'd like to claim this house. And when I read the email, I will update the Google Sheet so that no one else can take this house. I'm not going to have two people doing the same location and the same calculations. You're all going to be doing different houses because I said so. Okay.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Don't take that seriously.
I took everything seriously.
I'm sorry. That was 100% a joke.
Good thing I gave you a fake pass.
Ha 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 ha.
Back to this.
You know what? I take my apology back.
Okay. I'm going to write down some of this information here. Here we go. And I'm going to flip my camera over.
How's your kids doing?
Back to work. Now, this is for the house part of the project. Today is the 11th. Just writing down this information. Now, houses, as I said, they tend to gain value. So you need to pick a house that has gained value over time. And if you notice the calculation that I'm about to do right here, y equals a parentheses 1 plus r to the x power. That's the formula that I need to use for this. See, there are three exponential formulas that you're going to be using for the project. Compound interest is used for the bank. Decay, the decay one where it says 1 minus r is used for the car. And 1 plus r, growth, is going to be used for the house. Absolutely. That's why I wrote, sorry, I covered it up, but it says it right up there. Yep.
So, I know.
No, go ahead.
What's the actual point of this project? Not as in like, oh, what's the point of this? I'm not going to need this. The point as in like, what's like the overall thing?
Exponentials and logarithms.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
On Tuesday, oh, by the way, for those of you in the chat, she asked like the purpose of the project and how it relates to what we're doing, I'm assuming? Yeah. On Tuesday, when we did the car, we did three basic calculations. Number one, we calculated the rate of decay of the car using, actually, I think it was like a 27th root we did or something like that, because it was like 1994. Then we used that rate of decay in order to calculate what the car would be worth in the future at a very specific time. That was an exponential decay problem. Then we wanted to find out when the value of the car would reach 0. That used logarithms to get that part done. Yeah. Now, for this part of the project, it's going to be very similar, except it's growth, and they're going to ask you slightly different questions.
Okay, and was the car part first part you went over, or was that the second part?
I went over the bank part Friday of last week. I went over the car part on Tuesday, and I'm going over the house today. Yeah,
I wasn't here on Friday. How do you know?
it's all there. It's all there.
Well, it's still a stressful situation. So I'm home. I have no motivation to go.
Yeah.
Eh.
It's like,
I'm like, what the? Oh,
I just keep going back to the video.
Oh, goodness gracious. So here's my setup. Now, I do not know what the rate of growth is. The rate of growth of the value of a home, it depends on the location. It depends on how well they maintain it. It depends on a lot of things. Depends on the market. How old were you guys in 2009? 2008, 2009, actually. Okay, so you don't remember the financial collapse? The whole country went into financial ruin for a couple of years.
no, I was actually helping my mom with taxes.
When you were 5?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, if you ever like saw anything on the TV about it or something like that. No, the whole country went into financial ruin for a couple of years because the housing market collapsed. People were getting mortgages that they couldn't afford to pay back. And the entire housing market collapsed. They made a movie about it. I think it was called The Big Short. People basically being like, listen, I'm going to get you this mortgage, like banks giving out mortgages that they shouldn't have given out to people because their credit or their finances didn't match up with what they could pay, but they were like, don't worry about it. Things will turn around. And they gave them the mortgages anyway. And then they fell behind on their mortgage payments and they got kicked out of the house. But now the bank is like, what do we do with this house? So then they sold it again to somebody else who couldn't afford it. And things just kept on escalating. And there was this bubble growing in the financial markets until it finally burst.
Oh, wait. What year was this?
2008, 2009.
Actually, I do kind of know about this because I lived in Florida and I moved here,
Mhm.
and we got our house for a really bad price, like higher than it should have,
Mhm.
because of that.
Maybe.
Like it was really hard. Now I know everything's making sense.
Just saying. They made a movie about it called The Big Short. It was like an Oscar-worthy film. Anyway, back to this. I got to figure out what the rate of growth is. Now, for the rate of growth, I have to, just like with the car, with decay, I have to get R by itself. Move that up to the top. Notice the first step that I took was the same first step that I took on the car, where I divided by that initial value. Because I got to get R by itself. I got to peel back the layers. On the geoprism from Tuesday, at this point, we had to take, I think it was what, some kind of a 27th root. Same thing here, except it's going to be a 36th root. Yes. But the thing is, again, you don't have to calculate those roots by hand. You can have the calculator do it for you. I just need to see the work in between. I need to see this. 36th root of this fraction, which I'm going to have the calculator do in a moment. After I get that decimal, what is the only thing left I have to do to get R by itself? Is it by itself? What's preventing R from getting by itself? Yeah, how do you get rid of it? We did it! You just subtracted. All right, let's see what happens. Calculator. Where are you, calculator? There you are. Your calculators are equipped with these big root functions. You just have to make sure you select it properly. Math, X root, 37th root. Oh, I'm sorry. 36th root. I know, I got them. 215,000 divided by 59,000. Good. I get this decimal. I'm gonna do 1.037. I'll round it to. And then you told me the last thing I got to do is subtract 1. There it is. I'll flip my camera over in a moment. But the house has, over the course of 36 years, has appreciated in value by 3.7% every year on average. Obviously, some years are better than other years. When the financial collapse hit, that rate probably went down by a lot in terms of the value of the home. But since then, the value of homes have gone up quite considerably. It's pretty insane. They actually said that after the financial collapse, they called it the economic boom, not a recession. It was like they said, "Oh no, we're not in a recession. We're in a bull market. It's an economic boom. Things are going up like crazy." And then they said, "Oh, but you know what? By the year 2025, we should have another dip and we should have another recession." But that recession, most experts are saying, are not going to happen now. Because what happened last March and April? Well, yeah, and what happened to the market? No, it crashed.
Oh.
In March and April last year, it crashed. We finally just made it back. Right now, the market is at about 31,000, 32,000, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's the same level that it was right before. You taking selfies back there? All right, looks like you are. Good.
Oh, so for I'm back at the top. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. X is the amount of years.
Yes.
A
A is the initial value. Y is the resulting value. And R is your rate.
is the initial value and Y is
Y is the resulting value. Now, I want to be very clear, initial value and resulting value, it depends on when you start counting. For example, on Tuesday, I showed you guys 2 calculations for the car for calculating, I don't know how many years we went into the future. Like I said, hey, give me a random 2-digit number, and you guys gave me something. It was 18? Okay. So for 18 years, your initial value could either be today's value, in which you raise it to the 18th power, or your initial value could be the original value, in which you raise it to the power which accounts for 18 plus how old it is. So I showed you both just because it's like, it works either way. And I think they were only off by like less than $1 or some junk like that. It was? Good for me. Now let's actually do that. Actually, you know what? Let's do 18 again. Why don't we do 18 again? What is the value of the house in 18 years?
so the rate of
Growth.
okay, so the rate of growth is 3.7%.
Yes, for this house. Yeah. See, the thing is, every house is going to be slightly different. Depends on how they maintain it. It depends on where it is. It depends on the economy. It depends on a lot of different stuff. But right now, the rate of growth of the value of the home is 3.7%. So we're going to assume that. Now, if you want to do the value of the home in 18 years, you could do 18 years from today. And if you do 18 years from today, then this is the calculation that you would do. If I say 18 years from today, I'm saying the value of the house today is $215,000. I raise it to the 18th power because I want to go 18 years farther. I just typed that junk into my calculator, as is, and I got a value of $413,481.49. I want to see how close I get with the other calculation, because these numbers are a bit larger. If I start counting from the original value of the home, the 59,000 number, I'm going to assume the same rate, but this time I'm going to raise it to the 54th power, because 54 takes into account the 18 years I want to go and the original 36 years. Let's see what that actually ends up being. $419,667.04. Now that one obviously was a bit farther off, but it was only off by about $6,000. That's actually not that bad when you're considering the large value that this house is. I can see the car being a bit closer, simply because the dollar amounts were so small. But for this one, because the dollar amounts are getting so large, we have to deal with that. It's crazy.
So, the second equation is from 18 years from, well, not 18 years, plus the 18 years from the initial value.
Yes. So watch where I'm pointing right here. Ready? This is 18 years from today. And the reason why I know it's from today is because I put today's value as A. This is 54 years from when the house was originally sold. And the reason why I know that is because I put the initial value as the original price. Now, again, like with the car, it doesn't matter which one you do. I don't care which one you do. Pick one. You can do both if you wanted to, but pick one, you know? But obviously, it needs to make logical sense. I don't want people mixing and matching and being like, well, I'm going to do 59,000 with 18 years. Okay, that's not going to work. If you do 59,000 with 18 years, it's clearly not going to work. It's those numbers don't correspond with each other. If you do 18 years with 59,000, you're counting from 1985. What is that? 2003? Yeah. If you go 18 years, like I was saying, if you mix and match, if you do 59,000 with 18 as your exponent, you're actually calculating the value of the home in 2003, which is clearly not what I want. So please be careful. Now, let's figure something out. Let's figure out, okay, I own this house. I bought it for $215,000, and I'm looking to flip the house. You might know people who actually are in the real estate business where they flip houses and they make profits. So the question is, I want to flip the house, but I'm not going to flip it until the house doubles in value. So I want to know how long until I have to wait to flip the house. How long until the value doubles? Now on the project, I do specify from today's price. I do specify from today's price. So in reality, this is what I'm going to do. 215,000, parentheses 1 plus 0.037 to the x power equals 2 times 215,000. Because if I'm going doubling from today, well, $215,000 doubled would be, well, 2 times that. Ms. Margie, you could easily just write $430,000. I know, I could write $430,000. What am I solving for? And where is x? Where's x in the problem then? In the exponent. What do I need to solve for the exponent? I'm going to need a musical tree. A musical tree. Logarithms. You just rolled your eyes at me. Well, I thought you were rolling your eyes at my joke. Well, let's see what happens. First and foremost, if I want to get to logarithms, I got to deal with the other steps in SADMAP. I'm going to have to divide both sides by 215,000. No, but watch this. You know how easy this is to divide by 215,000? Watch how I set this up. There you go. I divided by 215,000 on both sides. That's why I didn't actually multiply it by 2, because when I divided both sides by 215,000, they just canceled each other out. It's kind of nice. Oh, algebra. Now is the time for logarithms. Now is the time to convert this to logarithms. What is the base on my exponential? What is the base that is underneath the exponent? That is my base on the exponential. And That will be my base. I knocked over the microphone. That'll be the base on my logarithm. The base on the logarithm is the base on the exponential. Ooh, I gotta fix this now. I did. Not the microphone. I messed up the box. Somebody asked me an amazing question yesterday. And they said, Mr. Markey, I'm just having trouble understanding what is a logarithm. What is a logarithm? That's a great question. And I do have an answer that you may or may not like. Okay. Well, first and foremost, if you notice how I set this up, the point of logarithms is to get the exponent by itself. Thus, the exponent's by itself. Let me ask you a question. If I asked you what is 3 squared, what would you tell me? And I would ask, why is it 9? Because 3 times 3 is 9. Perfect explanation. Perfect explanation. If I say, what is 3 squared? You say 9 because 3 times 3 is 9. Now, remember that explanation. Remember that explanation. Now I ask you a different question. What is the square root of 9? What is the square root of 9? Square root. Say again? No, that's what she said. I said the square root. You guys are still trying to square. What's the square root of 9? 3. Why? Why is the square root of 9 3? Same explanation. Used to be because 3 times 3 is 9. I asked you what squaring meant, and you gave me an explanation. But then I asked you the inverse, and you gave me the same explanation. See, my point is this. I could ask you, hey, 3 to what power is equal to 9? And what would you tell me as an answer? 2. But how would you explain that? Because 3 times 3 is 9. But then I ask you a different question. What is log base 3 of 9? 2. Why? Yeah, same explanation. I ask you about squaring and square rooting because they are inverse operations. But yeah, they are because they cancel each other out. Squaring and square rooting are inverse operations, but when I ask you to explain it, you only explain it from the squaring point of view. I ask you this, the answer is 2 in both cases. And I say, well, why? And you say, well, because 3 squared is 9. Logarithms are understandable as long as we think of them as the inverse of exponentials. What do you mean log base 3 of 9? Well, I'm basically saying 3 to what power is 9? That's what I'm really asking. If I'm asking a logarithm here, I'm literally saying this base to what power is 2? That's what I'm really asking. It's weird. It's weird and it's uncomfortable, but that's really what logarithms are. That base to what power is equal to 2. Thankfully, we don't have to do these by hand. Math, log base. You have it right there. 1 plus 0.037, 2. There it is. What's that answer measured in? Yes. If I am looking to flip the house after it doubles, I would have to wait over 19 years. And then it would have doubled in price. That's actually pretty close to, how many years did we let go by for the previous calculation? We let 18 years go by, right? Hold on, let me go back to that real quick.
I should have picked 19.
No, that's okay. But look at this. Look at this. After 19 years, the value of the home doubling would be 430,000, and after 18 years, the value hadn't quite gotten there yet. But
So in all actuality, if I picked a random two-digit number and I get it to double, I would have my answer.
kind of. See, the thing is, it's not precisely 19 years. It's 19 years and a little bit,
Yeah.
and I need that little bit.
Okay, but I can get partial credit, right?
Well, potentially, but I would need logarithms in order to show that answer. So that's
That
what.
was just me being like, I wouldn't actually do that.
I got you.
This was me being like,
Wow. So I am going to update the project in terms of what you can and cannot use. Random Lake, Wisconsin didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. So I am going to keep this house open for myself. And I'm going to say that you are not allowed to use 7 Bowie Court in Barnegat. You are not allowed to use 7 Bowie Court in Barnegat. Your research in terms of the house might take a little bit. I think when I just did my research now, when looking for a house, it maybe took me 5 to 10 minutes. Oh man, 5 to 10 minutes of research for a project? You kidding me, Mr. Markey? Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes of research. It did not take me that long. Once you find the house and the car that you are looking for, you email me and I will update it on the spreadsheet. Word of caution. Word of caution. When you find the house, you can email me, and the car, email me, but screenshot it regardless. Because what could happen tomorrow to this house at 7 Bowie Court? Could get sold. And if it gets sold, then this thing is off the market. And when you go back to try and screenshot it, it might not be there. So screenshot it when you get the chance. Yeah. Now on the Chromebooks, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the Chromebooks, when you screenshot something, they're connected to your Barnegat School email account and they upload directly to your Google Drive. Nice. Nice. I'm just saying, there is a way to screenshot on those Chromebooks. Let me just show you something real quick. I don't have one of those Chromebooks, but I'm going to have you try it in a moment.
is there a reflection part on the house?
The reflection is like basically on the overall project. Right here, you see part 4 right there? Part 4 is a reflection over the whole project, the bank, the car, and the house. Yeah. So let's see. I looked this up before. I believe you. I just wanted to bring it up here.
It's the little, like, it has like a couple boxes on it.
Yeah.
It's on the top, it's next to the F button.
Okay, so you have to do Control Alt. Oh no, Control Shift. This thing says Control Shift. Give it a shot. See if it works.
I'm pretty sure all you have to do is.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's on my MacBook.
Well, for me, I did control and then like 3 things.
Okay. But regardless, it shouldn't take that long to figure out how to do it on a Chromebook.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's super easy. If you can't do it, you should probably go to the doctor.
Okay. I know that on mine, like for example, there's this button that says print screen. And if I print screen like that, and then go to like Microsoft Paint, for example, there I just screenshotted. It doesn't take that long, and I can throw that into like a Word document too.
Wow, it's pretty gnarly.
It is pretty nice, actually. It is. I'm just.
Glasses everyone has now.
That's not the purpose of this. But anyway, like I said, I am going to assign the project before the end of today. You can begin working on it whenever you need. Here's something that I would strongly suggest. One more thing to strongly suggest. Please do not wait until the last minute to begin. Because if you have to get approval from me and you wait until the night before to get approval, Am I really going to be checking my email at 1 a.m. when you're working on this? Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Whenever I fall asleep.
Yeah, he definitely goes to bed at like 7.
Yeah, that's why I didn't share my home address with you guys. All right, but you guys are asking me when I fall asleep. I'm trying to connect the dots here. Yeah.
I do kind of want to be math teacher.
Yeah, you really think they'd be able to hire somebody in a pandemic? Anyway, I'll find out who's in trouble in a moment. If you haven't left a comment in the chat, please make sure that you do so. Who's in trouble?
Definitely not.
Mr. Marcus room.
It probably is.
Sure. Bye-bye. Madison.
Me?
Yes. Huh? Oh, you're in trouble, probably.
Wait, actually?
Guidance. Bad word.
How much do you want to bet? You're going to tell me.
I'm going to sign off.
No, it's